Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6, but also I guess just DC TV in general in regards to the rest of this season. So obviously we are about 2/3 of the way through the main shows, if you want to call it. Obviously Black Lightning has wrapped and Legends of Tomorrow is about almost halfway through. I think next week might be their halfway point, so we're almost through it all in regards to it being aired on TV. However, when it comes to the filming side of things, they're closer towards the end of that. So, obviously because they don't film an episode, then release it later in the week. But obviously there has been a global, I just call it a pandemic. That's obviously the best word to use. I won't name the illness just because YouTube's done, for some reason has weird censorship over saying the illness. I have no idea why they do that. I think it has something to do with like people clickbaiting and using terrible things that are happening in the world for views and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. So I won't name it because they will just flag the video down. So I won't name it, but most of you guys would, well, hopefully you know what the illness is. If you don't, then that's a concern. So yeah, you should know what the illness is. But yeah, there's illness fears around the globe. Obviously there's been various things that have happened. So of today, when I'm recording this video, the NBA season is delayed. I don't really care about basketball, but that's a big thing. I think they played one game, then someone got sick. That's been delayed. Football games across Europe have been either postponed, like the Arsenal game against Man City got postponed, or they're played behind closed doors, so no fans, so just an empty stadium and it's the players playing. And then there's major events like E3 has been cancelled, and CinemaCon was just cancelled literally about half an hour before I'm making this video, and potentially have San Diego Comic-Con up next to be cancelled. Whether that happens or not, who knows? They said it's going ahead, but I think they said CinemaCon was going ahead, then literally four hours later cancelled it. So who knows what's going on there. But the big question with all these either cancellation or delays is whether or how it might affect the TV and movie production side of things. Like, all it takes is one person to get sick and they have to either send everyone home or quarantine everyone or test everyone, various things like that. So how is it going to affect the TV and movie side of things, especially with the DC TV show side of things specifically, because they're almost towards the end of the season, you know what I mean? They've only got a handful of weeks left, if maybe under a month left. How is it going to affect it if someone does get, possibly infected or sick? And we've actually got our first example of it, which is actually very close to home to the DC TV side of things. And this is actually coming from Variety, and it's in regards to Riverdale. So you might be wondering, oh, Riverdale's just on the CW, but it actually films in Vancouver, where 90% of the DC TV shows film outside of Black Lightning. All the other shows film in Vancouver outside of Black Lightning. So the fact that this has happened to a cast, well, they haven't specifically said it. We'll go through the press release in a second and how it relates to the other shows and after that. But they haven't specifically said whether it's cast or crew. That's unknown at this stage because I don't think they want to name and shame, obviously. But Riverdale films in the same city as the DC TV shows, and in some cases, the same location. So, yeah, but this is coming from Variety, and I'm just going to read it word for word, most of it word for word. Production of Riverdale has been suspended after a member of the production came into contact with someone who recently tested positive for the illness, according to Warner Brothers Television. It is not clear whether that person is part of the cast or the crew. We have been made aware that a member from Riverdale, which is produced in Vancouver, was recently in contact with a person who has tested positive for illness. The team member is currently receiving medical evaluation, said a Warner Brothers TV spokesperson. We are working closely with the appropriate authorities and health agencies in Vancouver to identify and contact all individuals who may have come into direct contact with our team member. The health and safety of our employees, casts, and crews is always our top priority. We have and will continue to take precautions to protect everyone who works in our productions around the world. Out of an abundance of caution, production on Riverdale is currently suspended. So Riverdale would be in the same vein as the other shows. They'd be towards the end of this season. Riverdale gets a 22 episode season, I think, like Flash and I guess Batwoman this season. So that'd be towards the end of the season. So the fact that they just suspended for an indefinite amount of time, right towards the end of the season, obviously shows the I don't want to say severity of the illness because That might be putting too much weight on it all, but definitely the threat of it and the concern around it. So it just shows all it takes is one person with the potential like little symptoms of it to completely just shut it down. Just go, okay, we'll just go home, go away. We'll call you back when we need to sort this out. So how, with this playing out in Riverdale, or the show of Riverdale, how is this going to affect the other DC TV shows as of now, heading into the end of the season? And in one case, actually two cases, the next seasons as well. So we'll go over that right now. So in regards to Legends and Black Lightning, obviously Black Lightning had its finale this week, so that's wrapped filming and they're done for the season. Legends, as I said earlier in the video, isn't even halfway through the season in regards to it airing on TV, but they wrapped filming like a month and a half ago. Like they started filming the same time that like Flash, Arrow, Batwoman, Supergirl started filming their normal seasons. But Legends obviously aired later, so they're done filming. They're done. So there's no worries about Legends of Black Lightning. However, when we go over to shows like Flash and Batwoman, so these are basically in the same nutshell, because they pretty much started the same time. I think Batwoman might be an episode behind Flash in regards to production, but they're roughly around the same time. So with those two shows, they should have about 3 or 4 episodes. Like I'd say about 3. Let's just nail down to 3 episodes. 3 episodes left for filming, which is about a month's worth of filming. So they got about a month left of filming for those shows. So the thing is that, as I said, there's 2 shows that are probably similar in regards to what's happening with Riverdale. Like Riverdale's towards the end of their season in regards to filming. However, that illness has suspended them. So Flash and Batwoman have that possibility. Really, any of these shows do, but in regards to like a similarity sort of basis, Flash and Batwoman are very similar in regards to what's happening with Riverdale. And you can say, oh, well, they've only got a week left of filming. Why wouldn't they just continue? Well, we just saw it happen with Riverdale. They've only got they wouldn't only have like a couple of weeks of filming, and they still went ahead and suspended it. Obviously, we don't know how long they're suspended for. It could be for like 2 weeks, because that's like the incubation, or not the incubation period, but like the quarantine period. If like you show symptoms or you were sick, it's like keep to yourself for 2 weeks, and then you go back to work after that and you're tested and stuff like that. So I'd assume Riverdale's down for 2 weeks. So if anything happens with Flash and Batwoman, I'd expect them to go down for 2 weeks as well, just to be safe, because that seems to be the general health precaution with what's going on with this. But then if we move over to a show like Superman and Lois, which is a new pilot filming, it will be interesting to see if they just completely delay the production of this pilot completely. It hasn't started. It hasn't started filming. I think it's meant to start filming in literally like the coming week, or maybe week and a half or 2 weeks. Within a 2-week period, I think it's meant to start filming. So they could completely just delay the filming, like not even start it, because they'd want to invest a lot of money, get everyone flown up there, rent out stuff, and then get a couple days into filming, because I think it's meant to be like a 1-month shoot for the pilot, and then all of a sudden the illness comes in and they have to suspend it. So if there's grave concern around what's happening there, and maybe like Vancouver, where they film all these shows, which will be the home of Superman and Lois as well, becomes like, I don't want to call it a hotspot, but definitely like an area where it is building in regards to people, catching onto this illness, they might just go, okay, well, we're just going to hold this. We're not going to bother filming it now. We'll just delay it for now. We'll just suspend it indefinitely, and we'll come back to it at a later point. So that's a big possibility with Superman and Lois. From what's like being said around like the internet, if you want to call it. It's just called the internet. What am I talking about? But then if we move on to something like Supergirl is actually, I think, in its like last week of filming. I think they're filming the finale, or at least they're about to film the finale. They're wrapping a bit earlier than the other shows, but they only have 20 episodes this season. However, Melissa Benoist, as most of you would know, did announce her pregnancy. So she's about 3 months pregnant, roughly. So what's going to happen with that is that they planned to have about a 3 to 4 week break after they finish this season, then go straight back into filming the next season. Usually there's about a 3-month break, I think it is, roughly, for all the cast and crew. After they finish one season and before they start the next. But in regards to Supergirl this time around, they're having about a 3 to 4 week, so even possibly less than a month of a break then to start filming, because she's going to give birth. So they need to get episodes made in advance so they fit the release schedule on TV. And then when she comes back, it would hopefully play out well, and they really wouldn't skip a beat in regards to the episodes coming out on TV. But in regards to Supergirl and next season, they could follow the similar trend of Superman and Lois, where if it is becoming that, like, if Vancouver, where they film, is becoming this area where this illness is, you know, becoming more widespread, if you want to call it, and more people are showing symptoms of it, they might be like, okay, well, we're just going to suspend this as well. We're not going to bother starting the new season, and we'll try and come back to this at a later point. And Supergirl as a season for season 6 might just be delayed. They might not start till mid-season, and then maybe another show, maybe Legends for next season, takes Supergirl's spot. Legends would normally start mid-season. They've been doing that for a couple of years. So maybe Legends might start at the beginning of the normal season of the DC TV stuff, and Supergirl starts mid-season and just runs into like June or July of next year. So it will be interesting to see what they do in general. Obviously, Melissa's pregnant when they start filming, so I know like the mortality rate as well of younger people isn't that high, and even with children it's not that high. But I don't know what it would be like with a pregnant woman, so they would definitely want to be safe in regards to that. With all of this, it is a watch this space. This illness is like every day you wake up and there's something new. Like Tom Hanks, he's in Australia and he got it. So he was filming a movie down here, and he got it. So it's spreading at like such a crazy rate, and it's just crazy news every single day. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything goes. Things are getting cancelled every single day. Things are getting postponed every day. So in like 3 weeks, or like not 3 weeks, in like 3 days time, we could get news on what's happening with all these shows, whether they're suspended or maybe they're moving locations or something like that to finish filming. Who knows what they're going to do. But yeah, it's like, as I said, it's a watch this space thing. It's sort of scary, but also just crazy at the same time. So yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. I guess if you want to drop a like on the video, you can. Yeah, I know, it's up to you, I guess. Maybe just show the channel some support by dropping a like. Let me know your opinions on this in the comment section down below. I'm curious, like, do you have... just not... Obviously, I think it's weird to be, like, overly scared about a TV show being suspended. But do you have any opinions on this? Like, do you think, like, they will be suspended for safety and everything like that? I think like Flash, Batwoman stuff should be okay, but I think it shows like Superman and Lois and maybe Supergirl for next season, which might be in a bit of trouble. So yeah, let me know all of your opinions down there in the comments, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.